Good evening, everyone. Um, yeah, I think just summarizing it, it could have probably can say it was a game of two halves. Um, we didn't play as well as we should have could in the first half. Just one or two execution issues, just a bit of decision making, a couple of errors, which we knew play like Iki is really clever in his movement in behind. And, obviously we conceded sort of by that. Arguably, they could have probably had a second before halftime with a couple of chances that Rivero had. So, yeah, we went in halftime pretty much having probably taken a couple of blows. But at 1-0, I felt if we could come out second half and improve in certain of the areas that I just mentioned, and if we're possibly able to force an equalizer, hopefully in, say, 20, 30 minutes, I felt that there would have been a bit of tension and pressure on them. So the aim was to try and just rectify things second half. I thought we played really well. I think we created two or three really big chances in the second half. Maybe unlucky not to at least get one of them. Obviously, chasing the game a bit. Now and then we looked a bit vulnerable on the counter in the second half, but we just had to be positive and get numbers forward. I thought the players that came on, just we had gained a bit of momentum just before they came on, and I think the players that came on, people like Chumani, Sanele, Ashley with a bit more movement and behind, just kept that momentum going. And as I say, I think in the end of it, probably could have been more goals down at halftime, but at the end of the game, the way it panned out, probably unlucky and disappointed that we weren't able to get at least a point from the game. But it doesn't make it easy. Obviously, it's our first sort of campaign in Africa. We only arrived back on Monday again. We're not playing at our home stadium at Donny Craven, which we would have wanted to play this game. But unfortunately, the league said the pitch is not in the state it should be. So it becomes very frustrating, having to play these amount of games. People say it is in Cape Town, but we have to get to our SAS home base, meet, have team meeting, travel. It's 2-3 hours again that is taken out of the day. And then, when one of your players that you've had and reignited his career to get into a Bafana squad, to get into, his move that he sort of desired to be at a club like Sundowns, scores a quality goal like he does, it does leave a bit of a bitter taste. So, amongst all the adversity and that, I've just got to be proud of the effort of the players in the second half. I said to them after the game, if you play like that, you're going to win far more matches than what you'll lose. So it wasn't to be tonight. But yeah, a couple of days break for the players. I think we're off till Monday. And then come back and start preparing over the Christmas period for one more game for the 2024 calendar year away to Supersport. So yeah, it's important for us to bounce back and get points from that game just to keep us in touch and in the position that we want to be on the log table.
Thank you, Coach. Angela?
And like on the results, coach, just the thought process behind doubling up on the left with Omega and Fawaz, and also having De Jong high up.
Yeah, I think the plan was obviously Ribero's their biggest threat, especially if he, receives the ball in the half spaces. So we sort of recognized that Nadal plays really high and wide, which would have forced Fawaz to sort of be dragged into that position, which then leaves Ribeiro sort of, in free spaces. So we sort of know that they are quite dangerous in terms of, getting in behind and the pace that they have with a player. We thought Mudal, but it was Moreno who started. It didn't really change the situation much. So that was a little bit of the thinking to try and sort of get their right back to defend more, like, Mega maybe asking a couple of questions that way, and to try and sort of start solid in that format. And then hopefully as the game opened, we would have been able to make some sort of changes. And a little bit of freshening up the squad. There's one or two players that got opportunity this evening that hadn't played recently. So that was the main thought pattern. And obviously, again, we're lacking a little bit up front with Mojella's setback and injury. So it's difficult for Ashley to play, week in and week out. And we also felt that maybe later on in the game it might become a bit more open, and then that will allow Ashley to use his sort of pace to get in behind. So yeah, those are all the plans that you put in place, but sometimes it does get a curveball and you've got to adjust. And I thought that we adjusted well at halftime, making the first sub in Carl. We knew it wasn't going to be easy for KZ's first game. He hasn't played for many months. Work permit issues. Eventually, he was available. He's not available to play in CAF yet. So, match fitness and sharpness we knew would be a little bit tested against a team like Sundowns, but you have to play him at some stage. And, getting the 45 minutes today, I think, stands him in good stead going forward against Supersport.
Mark?
At the risk of incurring Liam's wrath, I want to ask three quick questions. If you can elaborate a bit more on the right back, were you a bit disappointed? I mean, this is your Dino van Rooyen replacement. You didn't really, you looked physically strong, nice touches, but perhaps was a bit lost. My second question is about the desperate need for a centre forward. Is that top of your agenda for next month? And my third question is, do you have any say on the size of the grass? Because it certainly hindered today's play for both teams. Can beggars be choosers is my question.
Let's start from the beginning. Look, I thought KZ done well enough. Obviously, first game against a really good team. They doubled up. Fortunate on the left, we had a plan with the two. On his side, it was a little bit more difficult. Going out to Lunga, which created space for Korisang, which then meant Tabo had to go across, which meant Iki had space and Rivera had space. So we were a little bit sort of under pressure on that side. But people forget he wasn't the replacement for Dino. He came in as backup and competition for Dino. At the time, we didn't know that we were going to lose Dino. So when Dino then departed, we still feel that in that position is an area that is a bit of concern. But I'm confident KZ, it'll take a little bit of time, but I think eventually he'll come good. He's more of an attacking type, getting forward player. And today, the first half probably didn't suit him as much as we would have liked. On the grass, it's been a while now that the pitch is quite longish. It doesn't really get trimmed sufficiently, but maybe if it was a little bit more dew, it would have helped a bit, but it wasn't. So it was a bit spongy, and the ball didn't sit too often for us or for them, to be fair. So yeah, it's like you say, sometimes you can't have everything. And then the third one was.
What's the name of the centre forward that you buy in the jam?
Yeah, we are in need. We are looking at certain options. So hopefully we can strengthen, whether it be a player down the middle or another winger that I think we desperately are needing.
I'll take the last few questions with Sinatemba and then Rob.
Coach, looking at the turnaround between the game in Angola and this one, do you think maybe that affected the preparations for this game?
No, I don't. Obviously, you don't. It's not ideal because you only had one training session, which was yesterday, and so Sundowns also played on Sunday, but just maybe they had the opportunity to train on Monday as well. So it's not ideal, but I keep saying that we want to be playing on the continent, so it comes with its challenges, and we have to accept those challenges and deal with them. And we are learning quickly how to deal with it and learning fast. So we've got to remember Sundowns. People can say what they want. The majority of the Bafana squad are from Sundowns. They've got a great depth today. They made changes to the squad, which surprised us a little bit, but they're all quality players. You still have a lot of players like McQueen suspended, and Matthews in the wing. Saleh is there, he didn't start, and many others. Sometimes you forget. Sukom Dulwani is still there. That comes. Lesiben Koo still there. That sort of comes to mind. There's Mabua, there's Miamas, there's many. So they're a good team, and I told the players at halftime that don't get despondent. We can't control everything. They are going to get chances. Sundowns will create chances. It doesn't help we get down on ourselves and think. So I think that message at halftime was, hey, listen, we can't control everything they do. Ribeiro's going to do something special. Icky's going to do something special. You can't control it, so don't let it affect you. Try and limit it, obviously, but what's more important, what we've done with the ball when we have it. And I think one could see that once we sort of started controlling and moving the ball, teams like Sundowns don't like defending because they're so used to attacking. And I think as the game went on, they got a little bit more tired, a little bit more sort of out of shape, and maybe just a little bit of quality with Andre's header, Devon's header. I thought there was a big, really good save from Onyonga. We could have perhaps got a point, but it is what it is.
Coach, first of all, congratulations on picking up your first CAF Confederation Cup win. But does it take away a bit of the luster? I know you guys say you want to play at the continent, but obviously you mentioned it in your first thing, not playing in Cape Town. You're not getting to experience it. It's almost kind of the same as when you got promoted to not playing Stellenbosch. You got promoted to the Premiership. You had to play all your games in Cape Town. Just how do you maintain or keep up the energy of the players when they're not ever actually playing at home?
Yeah, it's a good question, and it's not an easy one to answer because, obviously playing at home in Donny Craven, having more supporters, it's not an easy place to come to. Cape Town Stadium is a nice venue for a team like Sundowns to come to. I don't think they would enjoy playing Donny Craven, and then obviously it does make it more difficult when your CAF games are also away. So as we speak, we were supposed to play at Cape Town Stadium against Stade Malien, but unfortunately it was figured out that Stormers are playing on the Saturday. We were going to play the Sunday, but CAF rules state that the opposition team has to have the right to train the day before the match. Now they can't train, so we have to move that, for example, as well. We're still trying to get answers on why Athlone can't host CAF games, but we haven't really got an answer because I'm sure if it's a change room effect, media, or whatever it is, maybe it's something that we can rectify and fix. But for now, it's not the case. So it's not easy, the traveling. I think January, I don't want to harp on it, but it's away to in Loftus, then Chiefs away, then Loftus again, then it's away to Morocco. And hopefully the Nedbank we can get a home draw.
That concludes this evening's press conference. Thank you all very much for your time.